So I've worked with a lot of individuals that when we start working together, it doesn't appear that they have an addictive pattern, an imbalanced pattern. And when I come to unpack things with them, I end up understanding, oh, wait, there is an addictive pattern here. And the ways we go about identifying that and the ways we distinguish that from, say, it being something that they're just passionate about, a pursuit of theirs, is when you start to see certain elements of their life being compromised. So when sleep begins to be compromised, when their ability to experience happiness effortlessly, daily, and extract the enjoyment out of every moment begins to be compromised. When they sense focus and concentration issues, fogginess, when they are compromising their quality time with loved ones. And I'm not saying a day or two, or an evening or two. I'm saying consistently. When they're doing things from a place of wanting to prove themselves worthy. And therefore, that's why they're experiencing all of these other breakdowns in the way they're functioning, right? Because they're beginning to burn out. One of the key distinctions in someone who's answering their calling, living their purpose, as we like to say, living a life in alignment, not just in the way they feel and function, in the way they behave on a daily basis, the way they also are living in accordance to something that they feel is what they're meant to do on this human journey of theirs, is they're not burnt out. They're not worried. They're not stressed. They're not concerned. They may be focusing on certain elements. They may be focusing on success. They may be focusing on growth. They may be focusing on bringing what they're working on to more people, and they're not worried about it. They know they're called to it. And so living a life in alignment allows you to more effectively, to more easily, to more sustainably answer that calling. You're not burnt out. You're not worried. You're not stressed. You're not compromising your sleep. You're still making time to spend quality time with those you love, including yourself. You are focused and not taxed. So when we're coming to identify the addictive pattern, we want to make those distinctions. Are we taxing ourselves? Does this feel like an impossible, daunting, stressful scenario or situation? Or does this feel like something that just flows really nicely? That we really wake up every morning and say, man, I really get to do this. And all of these other aspects of my life are flowing really well along with the way I act and behave on a daily basis. It's all just kind of interacting well, right? There's no feeling of I'm really forcing this thing. You know, I'm pushing, but the universe isn't answering, or things aren't happening the way I wanted them to. And when we're answering our calling, we do it all with this sort of lighthearted, dare I say, somewhat humorous way of engaging with life. We enjoy most, if not all, of our moments. That's what I would say about identifying an addictive pattern. If you're unhappy, there's a very good chance there's an addictive pattern at work somewhere in your life. If you're tired consistently, there's a very good chance that there's an addictive pattern at work somewhere in your life. If you're constantly anxious in a way that does not allow you to function, there's a very good chance that there's an addictive pattern playing out in your life that you are unaware of. And sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it's just the story you've been telling yourself, which then plays out in how we live. Because the story we tell ourselves Even something as simple as I'm going to go to my job today because I would like to get paid this week is a story. And so at work at all times, sometimes out of our awareness, is a story. And so if you are experiencing compromised functioning, there's a very good chance that there's an addictive pattern at work. Different from pursuing your passion. You pursuing a passion, you pursuing something you're really interested, something that you believe you're called for, those things typically don't tax you. Yes, you'll want to wrap things up at the end of the day, go get a good meal, spend some time with your loved ones, and get a good night's rest. And you're not taxed. You wake up and you're like, man, I get to do this thing called life. As opposed to like, how am I going to get through today? Right?